Well, good evening, one person that stayed when the other four left. Welcome to a special Saturday night edition of Supernatural Speak because I do this for the special people. And my guest tonight, they're the special people.
Yeah, but we
So
forgot to bring his bicycle helmet.
that's okay. I got my crayons. We can share.
Don't forget, I got the straight jacket on back there.
Well, just so everyone knows tonight, this is one hell of a show. We're going to talk about everything because these two guests will. You could get
Oh,
some
pretty much.
serial killers. Uh, you're going to definitely get Bigfoot, spirits of strippers. There's no telling what's going to happen tonight. Hey, Sherry, how you doing? Thank you for joining me again tonight. Sherry is one of my biggest supporters, probably the biggest one. Um, everyone knows who Mark and Joe are. Nobody knows who the hell I am, but you know who they are. They've got a great show out. They're doing content for Netflix, Paraflix, the Netflix of the paranormal.
There you go.
There you go.
So y'all learn a little bit more about that tonight, and I will be joining them in March because I had some spiritual technical difficulty the last time I tried.
Yeah, I kind of heard that your phone decided to do a complete crap out on you.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Thank goodness somebody else's phone worked. I'm like, I can't do, send them mind messages. I don't think my signal will get up there to Wisconsin. None of that. So we made that happen. Hey, Leanne. I guess one thing, I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you because you do some really good shows. You have some great guests.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I've learned a lot from you guys. I'm a new podcast world. I probably shouldn't cuss as much, and I probably shouldn't let my guests cuss as much. But hey, it's called freedom of speech.
Well, that's the point. You're broadcasting or you're going live on Facebook, and Facebook doesn't have a filter too much.
It is YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's kind of the same way. So you can put your adult content up there, and you can swear up a storm if you want.
I mean, because how is someone going to tell their story? Like they're in the middle of there's no telling what happens. I want to hear how it really happened. Like, oh shit, something grabbed my ass and it wasn't alive. I mean,
well, here's the weird thing. Okay, I being it's the 20th century already. I honestly can't believe that we still have all these words that are censored because the F word is widely used among the youth and older people like us.
Well,
Shit and ass and all that is widely used. They're common language now.
yeah.
So I think that needs to be reevaluated to what ones are
some of
not
that list,
allowed.
some of that list you can actually say on TV now. Radio or television. Some of that 7 words you can't say on TV. They're bad words.
Right, George Carlin's list.
Yeah. Shit, piss, fucking, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits.
good evening, Nikki, Todd, and Leanne. Okay, so I'm glad everyone can hear y'all. I'm at my my point where my phone has crashed sound again. So I'm gonna pull you up on another device so I can hear you guys. What I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead, since we're getting started, I want you guys to go ahead and tell them a little bit about your show and where they can find you.
All right, you want to tell them, Joe?
Well, let's see. You can find us on the website. We have utterlyinsaneproductions.com, and you'll find our links to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. We go live every Wednesday and Friday, 6 p.m. Central. We have, oh my God, we have all kinds of amazing guests from all over the world we've had. We started that last year because of COVID. and we talk whatever their field of paranormal may be. And we do plan to go back out and do investigations, and those will be shown as we get them done.
Yeah. Anything else there, Joe?
Georgia weather. I'm back.
Well, welcome back, Beth. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm so glad to be joining y'all.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, we have
the comedy.
Got her over there with you today or something, and you're just catching some kind of buzz? Or have you been?
No, I haven't been drinking. I have no buzz going. I'm just in a good mood. Finally.
Not yet.
That's a
Hey, that means we all have to be in a good mood.
But anyway, what do you want to hear about now?
Okay, now that they have held up my end while I had to reset, every one of us that's on here right now, I think most of us are down here in the South that I see in here right now. So y'all will be snowed in by next week, or are you snowed in at this point?
We're kind of snowed in right now. We've got I'd say probably about 6 inches or so on the ground.
Okay, yeah, y'all can keep that.
No, we don't. Like Joe said, we don't get snowed in Wisconsin. It
yeah, that's kind of like New York.
It snows, and then
we've had worse winters than this when I was working and driving for a living, and I'd still go to work.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't survive, guys. I told y'all. I'd be fired.
I went to work driving cab in blizzard-like conditions several times. I drove a moped to work once in a blizzard. From one side of Madison to the other, it was something like 20 miles just to get to work.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that myself personally.
Have you done investigations in that kind of weather? Just out of curiosity.
No. Since we've been doing investigations, I don't go out in the cold. I stopped going out in the cold because I missed 3 winters. I was in the hospital from 95 until about 98.
Well, we're glad you're not locked up still.
So yeah, it was those voices still come back once in a while though.
Yeah, he hibernates every now and then.
You know what? As long as I can see you right here, that's all I care about. I'm gonna need you not to go back to that place.
Yeah, I don't know. That was cancer. I was in the hospital for cancer.
Well, I can say this: you kicked its ass, Joe. You kicked its ass.
Yeah, he did. He's way past his expiration
date. Yeah, I was waiting for him to say that. Now, what's the next? What's next? Let's see.
No,
look, I can't keep up with Joe. I can't keep up with Joe. Okay, Joe. So, of course, I've never been up there. I need to get up there. One of my best friends that I lost when I was a teenager, she's actually buried up there. So I got to come up y'all's way to visit. What would be some locations in your area that you would recommend to some of us?
Well, it depends on what you want. Do you want a building or do you want an open area?
We love everything. Everybody in this group loves everything.
Well, I don't know. I found that Eagle Road Cemetery, for all the cemeteries that we've been to, it's in the middle of nowhere in Juneau County, and it's just a tiny little cemetery. And the 2 times we were out there, we had strange stuff happen, and not necessarily activity. Because the first night it was more like we're out there in this cemetery. There's a farm, maybe about 300-400 yards away on the one side, and then there's nothing. Yeah. And then there's a cornfield behind it.
Oh, it's always the cornfield.
Really, and then there's the road that runs in front.
And on the other side of the road, it's like a forest, woods over there, little patch of woods. And that first night we were out there at like midnight, something like that. It was real late,
It's a little after midnight.
and there was a flyover.
Oh, so it's got
Yeah.
everything there.
Right. Well, the weird thing is
But the
it
thing
was some
is-
sort of jet, and for
Yeah,
some
it was-
reason, it flew. It was low flying. He caught it on camera. I was having issues even getting it on my camera, and there are no airports in the area big enough for a jet like that. But
Right.
this thing was it flew over where we were at, and I can't figure out what the hell kind of jet it actually was.
Okay, yeah, that's questionable.
Yeah,
And
I got the feeling it was some kind of military jet, but
It could have been.
we don't know.
Could have been.
You know, it's hard to tell, but it's just strange because it just flew over real low, you know, and it's like midnight. You know?
Yeah, no. Is there Bigfoot in that area also?
That doesn't happen too often
Not really around Juneau County
near the airports.
or the airport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hell, you never know. There might be one living underneath the airport.
You never know.
And then the
Yeah.
second time we were out there, we heard growling of some sort, but we couldn't see it.
Yeah,
Now, see,
and we
no.
have that. We actually have that on the audio
Yeah.
of both cameras.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when it happened, him and his wife are at one end of the cemetery, and me and my girlfriend are at the other end of the cemetery. But it showed up on both. It happened, and it's on the audio for both cameras.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is
that's
weird.
cool. It's cool though,
Oh
because
yeah.
most people, you know, we hear all kinds of stuff, and half the time it won't show up, and we're all looking at each other like, you know, we all heard that, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And then there's nothing, or you know, the normal, it's on recording, but you didn't hear it with your own ears.
Right. But the reason I
or
asked if
something
you want,
happens and you weren't prepared.
the reason I asked you back on your question is if you want a building or an open area, we have it all. I mean, we have near where I live here, we have the Kettle Moraine that runs north and south in the state, and it runs way up to the north of us. There's been recently Bigfoot sightings there. They
Mostly in the southern
it's
part of it,
Bigfoot
though,
sightings.
right
yeah,
now.
back down here in the southern part, around where I'm at. And then we also have Bray Road, which is out by Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And Bray Road's
Yeah,
about
we're going
2
back.
miles. It's about a 2-mile stretch of road that's really dark, really secluded. You know, and I can see where people, like Joe has said before, where people can miscue what they see. You know, if they see like a coyote or something, even a stray dog.
If you're driving,
eating-
alone on that road, the mind
Yeah.
can play tricks with you.
because it's dark. There are areas of woods that are
No
along
street
there.
lights.
There's open fields there. There are cars that travel it occasionally. There are houses there, but
We're in Wisconsin.
right. The houses there the lights aren't really bright enough to illuminate out to the road. So, you know, it's all dark through there.
Yeah, I
And
can
then
see how the
surrounding-
mind
those
could play tricks
stories-
on us.
Yeah, and those stories date back to like the 1930s
yeah, and
for the
I
Beast of Bray Road.
I think actually there's one from the 1920s.
So,
See, that's my new thing. I'm a huge fan of Greg Yost, Squatch Man. He is one of the nicest guys, and he's taught me so much. You know, it made me think back to some of my experiences I had in the past were not what I thought they were.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well-
I'm interested in that.
Well,
Yeah.
down there in Georgia, you know, Atlanta's the biggest city that's down there, right?
Yeah, and Athens.
No, Athens. Do you have much wooded area?
We do in certain areas. Like the common joke that I tell everybody is here, they really don't like paranormal investigators. You tell somebody you're a paranormal investigator and they're like, oh, you're a Satanist.
Yeah, some
And
people
I'm
don't like that anywhere.
I'm like, what? No, I didn't say that. But then
No.
you've got, your people that are genuinely interested.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the stuff we have, like in Savannah, which is one of my favorite places, they've had investigators come in and damage property. So therefore, they kind of look at you like, no.
No, if you're going in, if you're claiming to be an investigator and you're going in and you wind up damaging property, my book, you're not an investigator.
Yep. And it's people faking evidence is what it is. And they
Yep.
mess stuff up. And, that
And
makes it hard on the rest of us.
That's one of the things that I hate the most, because when people start faking evidence and trying to make a name for themselves by doing that, that makes me want to debunk their stuff even more. And I have debunked people's claims. We did that with a place in Madison called Sanatorium Hill. It's an old TB. It's an old TB hospital that was built there back in the 20s and 30s. And because back then, whenever you had the tuberculosis, they didn't know how to treat it. They didn't know what to do with it. And they actually called it consumption. So they would put the people there and try to nurse them back to health if they could, and just make them as comfortable as they could until they wound up passing on. So that place is known to be haunted, and there is a patch of woods behind it that is a city park. And city park, you can walk through there, and that whole area, they used to have therapy pools in there.
Yeah.
They had a pig farm in there. They had a garden in there. There's a big water tower behind it. There's maintenance buildings. And in the basement of the main building, there were tunnels that went out, branched out, and took you all the way out to the pig farm, which was halfway out into the woods. So that's how they got patients out there for their therapies and stuff like that. So it's known to be haunted. And one of the main floors of this building that is the most haunted is the basement. But people also claim to be seeing apparitions around the building itself and in the woods. We had a video that we watched before we went out, and that was our first investigation that we did at Sanatorium Hill. We watched this video, and this guy claimed to have caught an apparition walking behind some trash containers that were there, and showed that, oh, look, this apparition disappeared.
Let me say something a second. Now, I had this kind of debunked before we got there because, one, I grew up right around that area where this building is. It's known in Madison for a sledding hill on the north side of Madison. They actually built the fence at the bottom of the hill so that kids wouldn't go sledding out into the street.
Oh.
Yeah. When I was a kid, that fence wasn't there, though. So
that's why we're all still alive, because when we were kids, we ate dirt.
Oh,
yeah, when
rode
we
in
were
the
kids,
back of
we
pickup
weren't
trucks.
Yeah.
No, when we were kids, we weren't babied. We go out, ride our bikes, and if we did jumps on the bikes and everything and fell off, that's our fault.
Oh, yeah.
For Christ's sakes, we didn't use seatbelts either.
No, rode in the back of pickup trucks.
Yeah. Hey, Eileen,
did all the time.
Nicole, thanks for joining us.
But get back to what I was saying there. So this video showed this, these people were claiming that there was an apparition that walked across. And when Joe and I went up there, first thing we did was debunked it, because there are people that walk through there all the time, because at the bottom of the hill down at the fork at the stoplight down there's an actual convenience mart, and there are people that walk down there to that convenient mark all the time.
Yeah. Cutting through Sanatorium Hill is a shortcut.
Yeah, it's a shortcut going through there. And of course, with the park in the back, there are trails that go through the park, and you're going to cut through there. So.
But you just got to love how they got excited in that video.
Oh, I know. They got really excited about it.
They got really excited. We got an apparition. But it was, we were out there. When we were out there, at night. It was 10, 11 o'clock at night. We were parked out there. We were looking around, filming. And we even came across a dude. We get on the other side of the building that actually faces the road. And there was a dude actually coming up alongside the building, walking his dog
Hmm.
at that time of night.
But we actually started out
So it goes to
earlier in
show
the
you
day.
that there's people around there at all hours.
Yeah. But we started
it
out earlier in the
monitored?
day. No, not really monitored. It's a government, a state building
Okay.
that they have records and stuff in it. It
Yeah, it's
stores the
just
state
it
records
used to be back in the
So-
day though, when I was a kid and growing up, it was like a welfare office.
Yeah, where
Okay.
where public could come in and do business, and then But right now you can't, and we've been actually trying to get in there. Um, I'm still working on it, and I'm hoping I can find the right person to talk to get in there because
I knew somebody that worked there, but they
I
retired.
really want to get into the
and
basement.
They
That's
said
the
they
thing.
weren't going to let us in.
Now I want to go to the basement.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to go to
No,
that basement.
I don't care. I don't care about any of the other floors in that building.
I had
really
a
don't.
cousin.
The one
I'm
I
not going to
want is the
mention her
basement.
name. I'm not going to mention her name, but I had a cousin that worked there, and she was telling me stories because they'd go down there in the wintertime to take the breaks instead of standing outside, of course, to smoke their cigarettes. So they'd go down into the basement, and they were just standing there, and there was this really old gurney, like really old, that was left over, and it was in one of the hallways that was the leftover portion of the tunnel that's in the basement
Mhm.
that would have gone outside to one of those pools, those therapy pools.
Yeah.
And it actually started rolling on its own towards them down that tunnel.
That's enough to make you drop your cigarette, ain't it?
I want to see that.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it the tunnels have probably caved in and
Well, no, they
I think
purposely
they purposely filled
blocked
them in.
them off and filled them in so that you can only go so far in the basement and you can't get
Okay.
out through those tunnels anymore. You might be able to get to the one, but I think it's got a locked door that goes into probably the maintenance room or something, or the one maintenance building that's
Well,
out there.
I know for a fact that you're in order for their phone systems to get worked on, that entire portion of it is in the basement. And I know this for a fact because I was talking to a phone repair guy that went out on a call a couple of times there, and he said he was throughout the entire building. He said first floor, second floor, third floor. It's just just wide open, nothing to worry about. You don't even don't get any kind of weird feelings or anything. But he said as soon as he went through into the basement and walked over the threshold, he said he got this just ominous feeling completely from head to toe, and like he wanted to get his work done and get the hell out of that basement like now.
Yeah.
And
It's time to go. The phones are fixed.
Listening to him tell me this, I want to get my tail in that building and in that basement. I want to film down there. I don't care about the other floors. The basement
I'm
is
more
where the
excited
activity
about
is.
the other building up the hill from that.
Yeah. That one I actually didn't know they had tunnels on that one either.
I didn't either.
Okay, see, I'm all about the tunnels. Like, Todd, if you're still in here, road trip. Hey, Bob, how you doing this evening? Yeah, like now you got me like, hey.
Yeah, Wisconsin, I grew up here, and when we got into this, I couldn't believe how weird Wisconsin really is. That's the best way I can put it. I mean, there's actually a book called Weird Wisconsin. I bought it, and that's what I started following. And then I started following some of Chad Lewis's books. He's an author from, I can't even think. He's from the other side of the state than I'm from.
La Crosse.
La Crosse area. He's over in that La Crosse area somewhere.
Superior. Those are all over on the.
Now, Mark, how long have you been investigating?
Well, the thing is, I need to start practicing again, but I am a non-practicing Wiccan. I've been that. I used to practice the Wiccan faith back whenever I was like 17, 18 is when I started. But I've been I've been interested in this in the paranormal for a long, long time. When I was 8 years old, my mom and I watched a craft of some sort uh, come flying in and went directly over our house. And my dad had a 50-foot CB antenna. Now, a lot of times you say CB antenna, and a lot of people don't understand what that is. It's one of those citizen band, radios. And this
Yeah.
thing is an antenna that was 50 feet high. Especially, well, I try to explain it, especially for the millennials, because the millennials, they don't know that. What they
No.
know is the video games. But this thing, it literally cleared this antenna, and it was bigger at that point. Even at where it was at, it was bigger than our house, and we had a decent sized house at the time. And we watched it. It went very slowly and went right over top. And then when we got to a point where we couldn't really see it anymore from the back door, we went to the front door and we opened that up and then stood there and watched it just go off into the distance. Now, where we lived at, you had mountains. We were right in the center of the San Joaquin Valley. We were 21 miles south of Fresno. And if you look at a map of California, you put a pin in the very center, you'll pretty much put the pin right smack dab into Fresno, California. So we were 21 miles south of that. And it's a remote area. We were out in the country, 7 miles from the nearest town. So we had neighbors all over the place, but they're quarter mile away from where we were. So we'd always see all kinds of weird stuff out there. So, I grew up wanting to know what was there. I always had that curiosity. And I'm still alive, so obviously that old saying, curiosity killed the cat, it doesn't work.
It didn't pertain. It wasn't pertaining to you.
Must not have been.
I mean, so are you going to start practicing again? Is it something you just stepped away from?
I stepped away from it because of my ex-wife. When I was married to her, it freaked her out. She didn't want me doing any, she didn't want me.
A lot of things freaked her out.
I know a lot of things freaked her out, but she's not the object of this discussion right now, and therefore I'm not going to pick on her. So
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. No,
but I've always
Joe's
been
like, that doesn't pertain to me. I'm just
over the many years of my experiences and stuff in the paranormal, I've pretty much become jaded to it. So, I don't have the fight response whenever, how they say you either got the flight or the fight response.
Yeah.
I don't have the flight response. I stand my ground.
Oh, well,
if somebody
let me just tell you,
happens,
the women in our family, in our group, all need leashes. Hey, look, there's an alligator. We all want to go hug it. So I get that. I get that. I've got one that will run straight up to Bigfoot and jump in his arms. Another one that's like, look, it's a whole bunch of like pilgrims. Let's go talk to them. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. You never know.
Well, like I said, I've been jaded from all this. I've seen so much in my life, and also you got to. I guess some of it comes from the fact that when I was younger, I actually dated an actual witch. She practiced both dark and light magic, and I experienced some stuff with her that was really, really weird too. Because I had, you ever hear of dreamscaping or dream sharing?
Yes.
Well,
very familiar.
I actually had an incident where I woke up, and shortly after I woke up, she woke up, and I started talking to her about a dream that I had with her in it. And she's like, that's not the dream you had. That's the dream I had. And I'm like, no, I had that dream. She's like, no, that was my dream. So we came to the determination that we shared a dream that night. And the weird thing is, in that particular dream, I was protecting her from an actual demon
Oh, and people that
So
don't believe this stuff is real, oh, it's real.
yeah, it is. It is. Because
I keep saying anything's possible.
after that particular dream, and the fact also that she would play with dark magic, we actually had physical manifestations of demons at the time. And I actually woke up one morning about 2 o'clock in the morning, and lo and behold, standing on my ceiling, right above me, almost face to face with me, was a demon.
No, nothing
It
to be
was
afraid of there.
nope. I
No.
actually swung at it.
You sound like me taking my gun into investigations like I'm going to shoot a spirit or something.
It's stuff like that. I mean, things like that I've actually seen in life and experienced in life. That's jaded
Yeah.
me to a lot of this stuff. So that's why I don't have that fear anymore. I don't have the. I mean, I'll still feel like the hair stands up on the arms and the back of
Yeah.
the neck, and I still get that feeling if there's ominousness there, but I don't. My feet don't automatically turn and go the other
Yeah.
direction. I stand my ground or I walk directly towards it.
There's no in between. Like, nah, let me
No.
stick around.
No.
I mean, there's only one thing that's going to get me to, and I can't run both my, but I'm pretty sure I could find a way. I don't like snakes. And so it makes interesting for squatching.
Well, snakes aren't too bad.
I'm not a big fan of snakes either.
No.
Garter snake,
But
pythons, boas,
it
no
did come in
big deal.
handy. I mean, it did come in handy a couple of times. My brother was the type that had a big what was that?
I think he had a ball python.
Yeah, ball python.
Oh, big fun.
And I was staying with my mother after the hospitalization, leukemia I had, and my brother was staying there too, and he had his pet snake. And if we were talking about something that we didn't want Mom to find out what we were talking about, he'd just let the snake out of the aquarium and just put it up in the chair so that when she walked through the door, she'd be like, right back out.
Yeah.
My mom was deathly afraid of snakes.
Oh yeah, I'm on that level. I'm on that.
I'm not totally afraid of them. I just don't pick them up. I don't want to pick them up. Don't ask me to. I'll look at them as long as they stay behind the glass.
I think my weakness is spiders. I don't like spiders.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I think they're a very beautiful creature, and they
don't like you either.
Good, and they're good for the environment. But I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't like either. So we're all on the same page. I definitely, Mark, in the future would like to talk to you some more. I'm going to be doing a roundtable dealing with witchcraft.
Okay.
If you'd be interested in that, I'll give you more information as soon as I get everything worked out.
Hey, no problem.
Because that's one of my bigger things. People don't understand everything goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think one of the things that makes people, I'm not saying that all investigators have to go out and learn everything there is to learn, but I think it is very beneficial going into, if you're going to do residential, if you're going to do commercial, anything actually,
Mm-hmm.
the more knowledge you have on, not everybody shares the same religious beliefs.
No.
And
that's why we're considered a melting pot of the world.
Yeah. You got to be, how are you going to help someone that is, their background is in a modality of witchcraft and maybe they have Celtic beliefs?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to help them if you don't know anything about what they believe in?
True. I mean, the world isn't just one religion either. We have a hodgepodge of all different kinds of religions, and a lot of the religions are all branches of the original religion. In fact, Christianity stole a lot of their symbolisms from the pagans.
Very much so. And
There's-
and you know, I have
and-
yeah, that's that other show, Mark. We can woo. It's for instance, I'm an overachiever. I have my home-based group, which is Terminus Paranormal. It's my brother, myself, his wife, and my niece. We're very fluent in Norse, Christianity, Native American, and Wiccan. And you know, people are just like, "Oh, you can't." Okay, it's not about that. I can help you. I know,
Mhm.
and if I don't know, I know somebody who does know. And you know, I commonly get the, you know, well, you can't be a Christian and a witch, really, because I know some pretty powerful ones.
Yep.
Well, you can be a lot of things.
Yep.
You
I
know,
mean, for instance, I'm an asshole, and I'm a really nice person sometimes.
I got a T-shirt that says "I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet,"
Amen, Joe. Amen.
and my stepkid bought it for me, if I'm not mistaken,
No.
for my birthday or Christmas.
Well, Joe,
Oh
how
my
long
goodness.
you been down the rabbit hole?
Um, I've gone down. I've just been through so much shit, you know, and seen some weird things in my time that can't be explained.
Technical difficulties, people. I promise I'm working on that.
And then when we decided to do the paranormal, I was all for it because I've been watching the TV shows. You know, I've been into it. I always look for answers. That's why I was like, did what I did for a living for the longest time. I was a security officer, private investigator, you know, working to become a cop at some point, you know. So I was always looking for answers. So, but I've also faced death, you know, and survived. But the thing is, when you've been where I've been and seen what I've seen, like the out of body experience, you know, they say it's not real. I didn't believe in it. Oh, yeah, it's real. I mean, it's the only way I can explain what happened. Um, I was in the hospital. They just diagnosed me with leukemia. My white blood cell count was too high for them to do anything. They couldn't start treatments. It would have killed me. And as they were trying to figure out what they were going to do, I died, and they had to bring in those paddles. Well, the one time I remember, I was kind of like it almost seemed like I was floating, and I heard that they had to take care of my mom. I could hear it out in the hallway. It's like they were out there taking care of my mom because she had heart problems, and she's, you know, they started racing and stuff because she started panicking because she heard that I flatlined because they, you know, cold blue, you know, it was all over the hospital and she knew where it was going. So she panicked, and I could hear all of this and see all of this, you know, but I was laying there and I could see them with the paddles,
Oh wow.
you know. But it was like something was just telling me it's just it wasn't my time yet, you know. And
Nah,
then
Joe, we kind of need you around, brother.
when they sit there and they tell you that when you go through that, you really do kind of reevaluate things in a big way, and I did, you know. And
Are you
yeah,
more sensitive to stuff now? You feel?
I got some kind of gift, but I try to avoid it as much as possible because it's not one of those ones that, you know, I can kind of, I get a feeling when something bad's going to happen.
Okay.
You know, somebody's going to pass away or somebody gets really sick or a car accident or something bad like that.
It's one
And
you
I've
want to
been
trade
able
back in for something else.
And I've been able to narrow it down to a few people. You know, I got to a point where I was able to narrow it down. So nowadays, I kind of live as a hermit, so to speak. It's just me, my wife, and my dog. You know, don't see too many people. But then mostly that's because of COVID too now. I mean, we used to have quite a few cookouts every summer. So pretty big ones too. But and
He's like, oh,
and
you
I
ready
used
to
to
start that
have
again?
them a lot up until the last couple of years. So
Definitely miss those.
yeah, I miss those cookouts too. God, we
Okay,
gotta do
we're
that
gonna have to
again.
restart something. 2021, return of the
Oh
cookout.
man.
Well, I heard
we did. I had big events because here in the small town that I'm in, they have a yearly event, and I always had a cookout on that event, and it was like in August, and it was called Riverfest. We'd have a cookout, and then we'd go down to Riverfest, and then my wife and I would go backstage and meet the band or the singer or somebody. So
Now, do y'all live far from each other?
I'm about 35 minutes from him.
Yeah, that ain't too far.
No.
No, I do that
But-
standing on my head here. You know,
But
you
I
gotta
have I have been trying to find a place closer to where he's at so I can move out that way more.
at one point we used to live like what was it, like 3 houses in between there
Yeah,
and Silver
3
and
houses in
Heineck
between.
there. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
But yeah.
I mean, it's tunnel time. Mark, you started this. Now I'm trying to go to basements, man. Hey, Denise Package in the house.
But for him though, with his ability that he's got, I think honestly, and this is my opinion, and I haven't told him this before, so I'm gonna say it now, and this is my
I don't want to
opinion
hear it.
on it. I honestly think that he needs to embrace it and hone it, because once he hones it, he can actually take it beyond where it stops right now, and he'd be able to use it a little bit better than what he does.
Yeah, and it's about the being fearful, and it takes time. It's also an acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you get the sensitive side of things where we were out at Astalon State Park.
That's what I'm talking about, honing it though, Joe. If
And I was out there and I
hone
started
it, you
feeling
can control
sick
it.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And until
Well,
we
just
got
know
off
after this
the
show,
property.
everyone's going
Huh?
to call and ask Joe for the lottery numbers.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'd be rich too by now.
Yeah, really. So would I.
Yeah. Like if we could do that, that would be spectacular.
There's kind of an unwritten rule in the paranormal that even seers that can see things like that, they're not allowed to be able to know that. It's part of fate, I believe.
It's
Yeah.
called give me a minute. It's called you can't. It's something for personal gain.
Yeah, can't do anything for personal gain. We
It's
know
like
that.
It's like a rule. You can't do it for personal gain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wish somebody'd do it for me. I'm just
You
saying,
can do
just
it to
fix
help
my knees.
somebody. You can do things to help others, but you can't do it for yourself.
Right.
Well, I'm going out on a limb here. I'm all about UFOs. That's something else that I'm starting to, because I feel like to understand everything, you gotta welcome everything. They can abduct me as long as they fix my knees. I don't care. Yeah, just send me back. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Send you back with better knees, huh?
Yeah, just. I mean, I'm not too
I
happy
just want
about.
to be put back in my younger body.
That would be awesome to be able to.
Pre-leukemia, before the leukemia, without having to go through that bullshit, and have all those side effects afterwards.
I've often.
Well, I'm just glad you're okay, because leukemia is something that's.
Well, the type I had is a very rare type to have as an adult. It's a childhood leukemia. I had AML. Okay. And
Is
and
it
I had
the backwards?
It's acute I can't even pronounce the something.
Acute myeloid.
Yeah, acute myeloid leukemia. There you go. Something like that.
I'm familiar with it.
So, but it was so severe
I
in my
lost somebody.
system. They said it was laying dormant in my system for about 2 to 3 years before this, and that's why my white blood cell count was so high. So, yeah, a lot of changes because of that I had to make.
Yeah.
My internet always does this when it's y'all. What's going on? And don't want me to talk to y'all. Does this mean we're going to figure out something between the three of us? You're beating yourself with your microphone, Mark. What is going on?
Oh no, I just got this like sensation, like an eyelash in my sticking me in the eyeball. So,
Well, at least it wasn't something else.
I reached up to grab my glasses and I bumped the mic. Hey, this is the first time I'm using this. This is brand new to me, so it's.
That's right. That's right. You got to get used to it.
I'm trying to get used to it.
Well, can you? Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to talk again. Look, there's some private sessions. I'm like, Mark, Joe, what are y'all doing? Let's talk. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with Paraflix and how? I mean, what kind of content other than your shows that you're gonna be providing?
Well, I know that they are going to put us up there as a talk show to start with. We are hoping that they get some of our investigations up there when we start going out in the future but what we're doing for them as far as our talk shows go is we're going to stay streaming on YouTube and Facebook Live every Wednesday and Friday. We're not going to stop doing that. We've worked too hard to get a following and do it the right way. Because it's always about the guests when we have them.
Yeah.
You know, promoting their books, promoting their websites, promoting the next adventure. And we like to hear the stories, of course, because some of those places are fascinating that we would love to go to ourselves. You know, and some of them have been to some extremely famous haunted places, you know, that we would love to get a chance to go to ourselves. But you know, it's great to hear those stories and share those stories, you know, the real ones, not the TV versions.
Okay, not the watered down ones.
Right.
So what we're doing for Paraflex when it comes out is we're uploading our content to them, and we're adding bonus content that you won't see anyplace else but there. We're hoping to get our documentary up there when we get it finished.
Which we are working on.
Yeah, and hopefully be able to finish working on this year. That's going out to the East Bray Road.
So will there be like content like what happens after the investigation, like when you and Mark are all up in the club?
Well, what we've been doing is when we have our guests on and stuff, we'd have them stick around if they could for extra 15, 20 minutes.
So there's like a bonus footage.
And we wouldn't broadcast that live. We'd actually record that as we're doing it, and you know, sometimes get some juicy details from them. Sometimes, you know, just joke around a little bit. You know, it's just little different content like that. You know, a little extra, make it different for Paraflix. Because
I think it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be more than what they anticipated, because so far the way things are with it, it just seems to be from everything that they have said to us and let us know. There's going to be a lot of content there, and it's
from
not
the
just
meetings
us.
we've had.
A lot of others that are
all right.
there.
For the meetings we've had, I can say this: the other shows that are there are real. They're not Hollywood shows. I mean, these are real people, real paranormal. I mean, if you want your paranormal flicks, you know, or fix, you know, like to really just binge watch nothing but paranormal, that's going to be the place to go.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're going to have nothing but real people experiencing real things, not reenactments, not Hollywood. You know, you're going to find the real stuff there, all in one spot.
And I think that's what it's all about. And I'm glad that that's something that's going on.
And it's going to be amazing, I think. I think it's going to be, I mean, the people that are running it, Natalie and the other people, they're just amazing. They really are. I mean, we've had chance to talk to Natalie several times. I've been to a couple of the meetings, and yeah, it's amazing. They are amazing people, and I see nothing but good things for this in the future.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great for the community. I think it's going to be great to educate people.
Oh yeah.
The content is going to be outstanding from what I've seen. I can't wait to see what y'all do because I know you're working hard on it.
Yeah, we've got one that I'm thinking the only place you're going to find it is going to be there. And we did a live version of it, but we're going to add to it. And I think for now, until we figure out what to do with the rest of the footage, it was our Halloween special. We had his daughter on as a guest because one of our guests canceled, and we got permission to talk about irony. We got a chance to talk about an investigation we did on Halloween into an old flour mill in a very, very old town. So,
well, when you go back to that place, I need to see.
It was interesting. We went. It was the first time we actually did a cross investigation with somebody too.
Yeah, it was a cross investigation, but we were the first team to ever get a chance to go in there.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing too.
So we're going to add some actual bonus investigation footage to that episode.
Yeah, I got to go through and find the stuff I need to put on there.
So
I can't wait. Like I said, and hopefully one day I'll get up to y'all's neck of the woods. I'll call ahead. I'll be like, okay, I want to go. Let's go to the basement.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're
like I said, I'm working on
middle to end of March. They're coming out.
Yeah, but I'm working on getting us in at the Sanatorium Hill, and I'm trying to find who I need to talk to.
Wait a minute. We forgot about should we say anything about that yet?
I don't know what you're talking about, Joe.
Up the hill from there? Up the hill from there? The other tunnels?
Oh, yeah, I was about to ask for up the hill. What's up the hill? Because when Joe brought up the hill, I was like...
All right, here's something for you. I don't know exactly when.
Little tidbit.
My date book in front of me, but sometime in the near future, we actually had our first person, the first person that actually contacted us through our website. It was cool. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he contacts through us website and he tells us that he works at Mendota Mental Institution here in Madison. Okay. And that's the exact same place that Ed Gein passed away. If you all know who he is or was. And he's also got the rocking chair that he passed away in his storage. Mm-hmm. But he was telling us about tunnels and how parts of that there's not just the mental hospital up there. There's adolescence treatment unit. There's all kinds, but the buildings are very old up there. The place dates back
a lot of history.
Wow.
And I believe that was built on some kind of Indian mound up there too. Native American ground up there too.
Oh, wow. I think you just hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
That's the other place we want to go to. The guy, if anybody knows about Ed Gein, I think I say that right? Ed Gein? Is that how it's said?
I think so.
Some say Gein. Anyway, I think it's Ed Gein. The Plainsville Butcher is what he's called.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface was based on him. Psycho based on him. I can't think what was the other. There was a few other characters that were based on him in the movies. All those famous horror movies. And yeah, he robbed graves and used the skin and made lamps and furniture and skin. Silence of the Lambs, the guy that had the pit,
Wild Bill.
Skin. Yeah, Wild Bill.
Yeah.
Wild Bill was based on him. They burned down the house that was on the property.
Yep.
The property to this day, as far as I know, it remains vacant. I don't think anybody wants to build on there. He's in an unmarked grave in one of the cemeteries that he used to rob.
Wow.
Okay. In Plainsfield. And the hardware store where he actually murdered the one woman is still there, but it's had several facelifts over the years. But it's still in the same location, and it's still a hardware store. But not many people in that town will ever talk about him.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
And he was one of those people that he went around town, and it's like, hi, Mr. Geen, how you doing? And it's like, having a, we want to have a cup of coffee, in the restaurant and all that. Everybody knew him. Nice guy, not a bad thing to say about him. Till that day. And everybody was freaked because they didn't have a clue.
Oh, yeah. Like,
It's just like Dahmer.
that's a candy-coated surprise.
It's just like Jeffrey Dahmer. Dahmer's sitting there with all those people in his freezers and stuff like this in that apartment. People notice the smell, but they don't know exactly what it is,
Yep.
And it doesn't get reported. And then, as a matter of fact, the cops actually brought back one of his victims to him.
Yep.
And noticed the odor, but didn't investigate.
Nope.
But then again,
and
my prediction was right too, because I said once he got to Portage Prison, he wasn't going to last very long.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Right.
And he sure didn't.
They had a rookie. No, they had a rookie take him and put him out in General Pop, so they could blame the rookie for it.
No.
That's.
No.
But yeah, that there was a candy factory that Dahmer worked at there in Milwaukee. I believe it's closed down now. But
yeah, I drove right by his apartment that he lived in, and it was still taped off. Shortly after it was still taped off. It was still a crime scene.
Well, Ernie has decided that he wants to be invited. I'm like, Ernie, we're going together because I'm going to road trip. Like I said, Todd said he's driving.
Well, I guess we're going to have the Midnight Wolf Pack up here to go on that investigation with us, Joe.
We'd love it. We'd love it. And that's the one thing that I'm so proud of.
It's got a little mix of everything. So,
yeah,
we love it.
There's a lot here. Madison has one of the oldest cemeteries in the region, and it's got everything from Civil War to World War I, World War II, Korean, Vietnam, just graves in there.
Playing in that cemetery.
Plus that cemetery.
My grandma lived right across the street.
Plus that cemetery is built on effigy mounds too. There's effigy mounds inside the cemetery.
Bray Road goes over an effigy mound as well.
Yep.
There's
Bray
a lot
Road
of Native
actually
American
goes right over
here.
top of an effigy mound.
Oh yeah, we're coming. When we get there, we'll be there.
Native American history around here.
Ascalon is a big area, and that one is. We had our experiences there too.
Now, is your documentary? Is that going to be just several locations or one in particular?
It's going to be Bray Road. It's going to be about the beast.
Okay, that's going to be cool.
And then once we're done with that, we may start with another one. So,
you might as well.
Like, the Beast of Bray Road is something that we got more than what we bargained for when we got there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's just say that.
There's a lot more to it.
There's a lot more to the story of Bray Road than just the Beast of Bray Road.
Well, I can't wait. I mean, for everything, we'll support you guys. I share as much as I can.
I try to. We all do, I think. I mean,
Facebook gets kind of confusing.
I have found that, and I know Mark will back me up on this. We've found that the people we have met, not only as our guests, but when we have gone out and investigated, we've ran into couple of other teams at the same location sometimes. And we found nothing but nice, people nice, willing to share, ideas. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is the equipment we use. Oh, I built this. This is what I built. And this is what it does. And
All right. What the hell?
the
Bravo
computer
6
doesn't
going
like you,
dark.
Mark. But and I find that a lot. It's like we've got so many invitations to go out with different teams that we've talked to in the local area, our local greater Wisconsin area, that this summer I'm hoping things will be good enough to be able to do some of that. I mean,
Yeah.
we had Jay, I can't pronounce his last name right offhand. But he's famous for Bigfoot in the Wisconsin area, especially in that Kettle Moraine Forest area that Mark was
Okay, I
talking
know
about
who you're
earlier.
talking about. I mean, there's so
And
many, and that's why
we
I
had
love
him-
doing what I
We
do.
had him on our show. And he and Mark got to talking about actually going out. It would have been this weekend they were going to go out.
Yeah.
But I think
You
Mark
guys
said
can
it got
still
too
hear me,
cold.
right?
It was going to be too cold.
Yeah,
I
we can
still
hear you, just can't see you.
What the hell's going on with my damn camera?
Your computer don't like you.
I like Dave Spinks a lot, so
Yeah,
um,
we had him on too. He
I was in
he was
there.
a very interesting guy. Yes, he was very interesting. He had a lot to say about a
Hang on.
lot of different topics.
He's super nice. He's very knowledgeable, and
He was.
we were very fortunate. The Black Wolf, we got to meet him in person. He's a really nice guy, and he doesn't sugarcoat shit, and I like that.
Well, see, most people that we've met, a lot of them that we've met, almost have the same philosophy. They like to leave it up to the viewers. You decide. We're not going to jump to conclusions of what we've seen. We might have seen something, but we can't explain it. So we're not going to explain it. We're going to let you try to explain it. That's the best way to do it. Oh, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, that's a Bigfoot. Well, I don't have any proof, but yeah, just based on this guy's story, yeah, you saw a Bigfoot. Nah, that ain't going to happen. Not with me.
I mean, and that's the best way, because
there's so much wildlife here in Wisconsin, you never know what it might be.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a black panther they say doesn't exist. But see, if you look at it, reality, panthers don't exist. It's a disease. It's that melatonin disease. So that makes a jaguar or a leopard black instead of white.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of albinoism. Okay. Well, they say they don't exist in Wisconsin. Why? We got cougars, mountain lions.
Yeah. You
Possible.
have a
DNR
lot
says
of wildlife.
But DNR says it's not possible to have those here, but yet they're spotted here. Okay.
Well,
but we have mountain lions and cougars. See, same difference. Yeah. Mountain lion and a cougar is the same cat. But why can't that get the same thing?
Well, that's like here. They say that there's no bald eagles
here. It's a feline. Oh, we got all kinds of those around here. Yeah. Just go over by the Mississippi River area.
There's no telling what you're going to get here. Mark, you still alive, brother?
Actually, I think I read an article that
stupid camera.
I think I read an article that somebody filmed an eagle or a couple eagles building a nest in Madison area somewhere just recently.
I think the main thing people need to realize: expect the unexpected.
Yeah, that's a good one. And expect the unexpected. Anything's possible.
Yep.
I mean, but when you're going out, you can't assume anything because you've got so much. No matter where you are, you got to learn the wildlife.
Yes.
The native wildlife. You got to know what the native wildlife is in your area. One, for your safety.
Yes.
Always for your safety. I mean, out here you can run into black bears. We could run into wolves. We could run into coyotes. We could run into, cougars. We could run into lynx. We could run into, all kinds of, things. But you got to know what you're dealing with, in those
that's going
specific
into any
areas.
situation.
Yeah.
And just like when
you
you
can't
go
go
into
out
an investigation.
You can't go out unprepared,
Yeah.
It's, it happens when it comes to equipment, for one thing.
Yeah.
But for safety,
Yeah, it does happen when it
that's
comes
the
to equipment.
important.
What I'm dealing with right now.
Right. Technical difficulties. It happens.
Well,
but when
guys,
we have the investigations, we've had shit happen where it's like, damn it, I wish I was wearing a body cam or something.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. And I need to invest in one of those myself. I'm not even gonna lie. I am one of those. I do like to go out. I mean, there's quite a few of us on our team. We want the personal experience. You can't beat that. You know, who is anyone else to judge your personal experience?
Yeah. Well,
Well, I wouldn't mind having that, and I just want some answers.
Yeah.
Just out of
And
curiosity.
And help people if you can along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, since Marcus went dark. Yeah, Marcus went dark.
I went dark on the camera, but you guys can still hear me.
No, I can't hear you at all, Mark.
Who's Mark? What I want to do is in the future, like I said, Mark, I'll let you know what's going on with that roundtable that I want to do. And I'll be in touch. And like I said, it looks like the entire Midnight Wolfpack is down for a road trip.
Yeah, just wait until it gets warmer weather, please.
Yeah, I don't do the cold very well. I
do.
Everyone, please, whether you're watching now or you watch this later, I want you to remember you can go check them out. I'll let them give their information again, but you need to look for them. They're going to be doing some really big things, and they have a great show. And I'm so thankful that they were able to be on the show tonight, and I get to know them a little better.
Well, thank you for having us, and
Well,
we look forward to having you March 12th.
We're going to have fun.
That's a revamp for her, by the way.
That's a revamp.
Yes. Part 2.
Yeah,
Part 2, people.
Technical difficulties the first time, but in her defense, she was at a wedding too.
Yeah, well, the thing is, she had what happened to her phone, what might have just happened to my camera.
Yeah.
Sucks
and
to be you.
Yeah, it does, because this camera's not even a year old. And I'm a little ticked because I unplugged it and plugged other stuff in, and the other stuff's working fine in the USB
Maybe
port,
it's the
so
computer.
It's not the computer. It's not the USB port.
I'm giving him shit because he just bought the computer. So
yeah, it's a used computer. It's a server, and
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it being used. I would have bought it too. I told you. He was buying this on a website, and I went to the website and I said, "Oh wow, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy it right now." And I was like talking to my wife, and she was talking back in the same room, and I said, "We got enough money?" And he was calling me in every name in the book. Don't you dare do that. You're not going to do that to me.
I wouldn't do it to him.
And it's like, yes, I am. I kept that up for a while.
All right, Joe, I'll let you tell them where to find you at. And that way, if they have any questions or they just want to see what you're doing in the future.
Well, you can find us at utterlyinsaneproductions.com, and you'll find our Facebook link there, our YouTube link there, and don't forget, we're coming to Paraflex in March. I believe that's being released. And there's going to be a lot of great paranormal people there. It's one big happy family, and it's getting bigger.
And make sure to go to the Paraflex page, people.
Yeah, check out paraflex.com, and that's Paraflex with 2 X's at the end.
Once again, everyone, I want to thank y'all for joining us tonight. Don't forget to check out my friends. We're going to have a lot more content coming out on Midnight Wolfpack as well. So make sure you go over to YouTube, follow our page, give us a like on Facebook. Everyone, have a blessed evening, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate you, honey.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
It was fun. This was